It's Monday. Another start to the week. How you doing, folks? My name is Cyrus Saatsaz. The program is called The Golden Days, and these are rough times if you're a Warriors fan because there's literally nothing going on. We will talk about the NBA Finals. We're going to briefly broach the subject of LeBron James to the Warriors. Do you folks even want that? Is it realistic? How would that look exactly? Well, we're going to talk about it. I'm also going to make one thing very clear. Kristaps Porzingis, if the Warriors bring that dude back, just wave a white flag on this season. Do you folks really want Kristaps Porzingis back? Well, let's talk about it. Hope you're having a good start to the week. Oh, we're powered by Sunrun. We're powered by FanDuel. Oh, we're going to have some fun talking about those lines in just a second. And the program, it's called The Golden Days. We do this every Monday. We try to do this 5 days a week, but during these absolute dead times, at a bare minimum Monday and Friday with happy hour and Tuesday or Wednesday night with the I-80 crossover and the Rick Barry show when the Hall of Famer is available, and we solicit his greatness and whatever else is going on. The draft is coming up soon. I'm looking forward to that. Free agency is coming up soon. Definitely looking forward to that. Love all of you. Let's get into it. The program's called The Golden Days.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Stay calm.
When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man.
Hey now.
Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Yeah, we call Mondays Power Hour for numerous reasons, possibly bringing on Horace Lawrence a little bit, my colleague with Sunrun, who's been around sports his whole life, and he's got a lot of great takes. We'll see if he joins the program. Regardless, you've got me. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild over on Twitter. How's my mug looking lately? I did run through the dishwasher recently. Is it aligned okay there? My little Warriors cup, the little Warriors sippy cup that I can hold with the pinky. It's that small. It's a very small cup. Oh, and I just dropped it. Is my mug okay? Is my little mug okay? Let's put you back. That's what I get for playing with my toys. Again, you can follow me, Cyrus Saatsaz, on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. We're powered by Sunrun. Let's start there. We're soliciting Golden Daysers to be powered by Sunrun. And we're not doing it to rip you off. Quite the opposite. This is an unbelievable partnership where both of us, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. We benefit because for every sale we get a commission. You benefit because the moment you partner with Sunrun, you're going to see your electricity costs go down. Might be down by well over half. Might be down by over 90%. Whatever the decrease, you're going to save money on your monthly bills. There's no upfront cost for you to install these panels. They do all that shit for free. And the battery that comes with the panels that keeps you protected during power outages, that also comes for free. And when I say free, I mean no upfront cost. And the monthly increment for this, far below what you're paying now for your utility bills. And maybe best of all, by partnering with us right now, this promo will not last forever. I'm guessing this promo will end by September, somewhere around there, maybe even sooner. It might go a little later, but it ain't going to last forever. I can promise you that. So partner now and you get $500, $500 Visa gift card We'll even contemplate Venmoing you just $500 straight up. It's a welcome bonus. What are you waiting for? Sign up, partner by clicking on that link right there, the QR code on our screen, or visit the description on our YouTube page and or podcast platform. The link's right there. Do so today so you save money, so you stop getting ripped off by local utility companies like PG&E. You're saving money on your monthly bills. You're protecting yourself from power outages. You're protecting yourself from future rate increases that crooked companies like PG&E often enact on the victims, aka their customers, and $500 in your pocket in the middle of a deep-ass recession. What more can you ask for? Sign up today. If you're not a homeowner, my sympathies. I hope that dream is fulfilled for you someday. If you are a homeowner, boost the value of your home, lower your monthly costs, get $500 in your pocket with Sunrun, and that QR code is right there. Today's episode also brought to you by FanDuel. They do power us as well. We've got Game 3 tonight. I want to see New York City going ape shit. I love their fans. I feel like New York fandom is how all sports fandom should be, but that's just me. That's an opinion, certainly not a belief that has any empirical scientific value behind it. I just love passion in my sports fans. And New York, damn, do they have the passion. I will maintain till the end of time that New York City is easily the greatest city in the world. I don't know if my old ass can live there today, but unless I had a shitload of money, my younger version loved New York City. All you young folks out there, if you have not visited that town yet, do not delay. It is where all the energy in this planet is focused on in terms of, again, just good spirits, vibes, fun, comedy. New York City, and the finals are there tonight. It's fascinating to me that we will have the first sitting president in history attend an NBA Finals game, and the irony is not lost on me that first president ever is someone who doesn't give a shit about hoops. He's doing it primarily for narcissistic reasons, kind of like a certain head coach of a certain team called the Golden State Warriors. Just me, me, me. I need your attention. I need to be reminded that I am a great person, because if you folks don't validate it, I won't feel it. That's how insecure I am. Give me attention. Give me praise. Give me fake artificial value, because that's how superficial I am. Give it to me. That's the president who's going to be in the house tonight. That's the head coach of your Golden State Warriors. Those two are far more similar than you may or may not give them credit for. It's going to be a shit show. And I'm absolutely tuned in to see this is a must-win game for your San Antonio Spurs, and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden tonight, favored by 1.5 points. If you think the Spurs are going to make this a 2-1 series, the money line for San Antonio plus 110. The money line, I'm sorry, not the money line, the over-under for this game. I mentioned that I like the under in game 2. It hit. The over-under for tonight's game, 216.5. To me, these are high OUs, considering these are the NBA Finals. And scoring is at a premium. Every possession counts. Again, I like the under, but don't let me influence what you put your money on, other than who you use to put your money on these games, and that's FanDuel. Right there. The right side of this screen, it's our sponsor zone. Sunrun up there, FanDuel down there. If you're listening on the podcast, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's okay, other than making sure you use FanDuel to bet on sports. FanDuel, it's awesome. I hope this show feels awesome to you. I see Shardul Gupta in our chat asking, can I be the closer at the end of the show? Of course. It's Monday. If anybody wants to join the show, that's what Mondays are for during the offseason. It's for you. So hell yeah, Shardul, you're going to be coming on the show. I'll send you the link in just a second. On that note, if anyone else wants to join the show, link is now in our chat. I'm also going to open up the mailbag and a couple of good emails we're going to get to today. Again, audience participation, always welcome on Monday. For all you trolls out there, this is your chance to prove you're not a troll, to prove that you actually have a brain, and you can have and hold a simple conversation pertaining to the Warriors or hell, anything for that matter, instead of just being in your mommy's basement, lobbing grenades from an anonymous account, which is what trolls do. Shardall says, go New York Knicks, following that with F the Spurs. Look at Julian Bashir. Last offseason, this man was not joining me on the show. I don't remember seeing him once. It was just a postseason. I'm sorry, it was just a regular season / postseason appearance from this man right here. This offseason, I still see him in the chat, and I don't see him joining me on the show. Julian, how you doing, brother?
Well, the season's still going on though, but I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, but you weren't. The Warrior season's over, and I remember you last year when the Warrior season ended. You went poof like a ghost, and you're not doing that this year. So great to see you.
Yeah, no, great to see you.
What's up?
Love your content. Love that you are expanding to speak about just kind of like what's going on with the finals and other things. And,
sure,
I think it's going to be a very interesting off season for the league in general.
Oh yeah.
I've been looking a lot into the draft, and I would say that it's going to be a very deep draft. And even when you get to like the 20s and 30s, you might even have some good second round picks. As you can see, Jalen Brunson, a second round pick, is leading his Knicks to the finals. So I think if there is some good scouting for any of the teams, they're going to really make out like bandits. Like, I'm curious about what OKC is going to do with their 2 picks.
I'm glad. I'm going to stop you 1 second there, Julian, because I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to talk about Sam Presti, the GM of the OKC Thunder. He's been running that ship for ages. A lot of people, maybe most people in NBA circles, consider him the preeminent front office exec. He's a wizard. He loves draft picks. He addressed the media this morning and said a lot of fascinating things, talked about social media and how there's a correlation between social media and politics in terms of the toxicity. He talked about his team, talked about Chet Holmgren. And I thought what was very interesting is among his many answers, he brought up the draft, and he said, like always, they're going to look at moving up, trading up. They have 2 picks in this upcoming draft. They have a stockpile of picks in years moving forward, so they might move up. Who the hell knows? But he also said that he fully still supports Chet Holmgren. He loves the team in its current incarnation. And what he was trying to convey, if it was genuine, and who the hell knows with these executives when it comes to them talking to the media. But the message that I got from Presti today is that people should not expect huge changes coming for the Thunder, and that if they run it back next year, don't be surprised. That's the vibe I got. I thought it was interesting, and I bring that up largely because Presti compared to Dunleavy, it's an ugly look. It's Mike Dunleavy Jr. I still am waiting for one thing that he can do, which represents ingenuity, which represents an impressive move. He's been the GM since 2023. We're now in 2026 going on 2027. He's about to enter year 4 of being the GM of the Warriors. What do we have to celebrate in these 4 years? All we've seen this team do is regress. All we've seen this team do is swing and miss with draft picks. All we've seen this team do is be underwhelming, practically just piss poor with free agent signings. So, Mike Dunleavy, what's your plan here? I heard Sam Presti for an hour go off eloquently describing the NBA, his team, providing a lot of details for a front office exec meeting with the media, and then you have Dunleavy. If that sounded like I used the word dumb, that was by design. Still not doing jack shit. This is year 4. What are you going to do, Mike? Anyways.
Well, I would say the more that I grow into my work field and business, it's very clear the different mindsets and directions across the league. And one thing that, because we have a lot of young fans, and I think you said Hamza was 17, and
Yeah,
I'll say,
he's a kid. We haven't seen him since, by the way. I hope I didn't scare him off.
We were all young, and I think I've told the story that I grew up a Kobe Bryant fan, and I thought that he was going to win everything. As you get older, you start to realize that this is a business, and so when fans go on Twitter and say trade Chet Holmgren, that's not a good business decision, and that's not a
maybe
good,
it is still. It depends, right?
Well, the reason why I say that is because if I was building a team, I would realize that you can't replace Chet, even if he's afraid of Wemby. There's not going to be another kind of Chet out there. You can replace Jalen Williams. There's other serviceable players that are 6'7", 6'8". So the business side is like, okay, let me sell high on one player because I'm about to enter a second apron. You can probably get 4 to 5 draft picks from Jalen Williams and put a strong power forward next to Chet and draft a serviceable small forward that can replace that production you get from Williams, because you already replaced the scoring with what was his name, AJ Mitchell, and also the McCain kid. So that's the way that these front office people that are highly trained, I'm just a fan looking, but they have far more information and scouting and numbers on the books and value evaluations. But that's how they look at things. So when the fans overreact, it's and back to kind of what you're saying about Sam Presti, it's very clear what the Warriors are doing. And Armando has said it on your show. They've pivoted to understanding what the Golden State Warriors city fan base wants to see and enjoying that and having a good time. And so Dunleavy, the reason why we're not seeing a frantic taking risk trade, accumulating draft picks or trading off draft picks, because he wasn't hired to be an actual GM. He was hired to be a people manager, to be a in-house manager. And that's why I don't know if it's true or not, but they said that Dunleavy was crying when the meeting with Steve Kerr before the extension. They're like,
where'd you hear that? I didn't hear that before. Where'd you read that?
Yeah, it was on X. I shared it with Armando. I'll send it over to you. So it's not a verified source, but it's one of those leaks that you say, okay, well, this makes sense just based on
who reported it though? Because Dunleavy himself would never admit that he was crying.
Yeah. So it's like one of those unconfirmed leaks, but the way that it's contexted.
But do you know who leaked it?
No, not. It was on X. I didn't save it or memorize.
Right, but I mean, I'm saying even on X, who on X actually reported that?
I don't have the top of my head. It'll take me a few seconds to find it, but I don't want to waste your time by getting it. I'll send it to you afterwards, or I'll email it to you.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I'll address it if you send it to me right away, because that is news to me. I've not heard any reports that Mike Dunleavy Jr. was crying with Steve Kerr. I mean, look, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they're both sitting there shedding tears because they don't want to break up this partnership where they're gatekeepers of a palace and they're making a fortune and they're living good. Well, why would they want to end that? Right? I mean, as long as they have a boss who's just going to keep shelling out a fortune to those two for an anemic product, I'd cry too if it was any danger of that ending. I don't want to lose tens of millions of dollars a year to do nothing. That's what Steve Kerr and Mike Dunleavy Jr. are doing. They're getting paid tens of millions of dollars to do what? Eat avocado and bacon sandwiches?
Yeah. Well, it's the California life. You got to keep it up.
Well, Joel Lacob is the one who's again in an off season of disappointment. He is the catalyst. He's the man at the top who in terms of just expressing pure admonishment and just disgust. It's Joe. Because he's the boss and he just allows this shit to happen. He's just sitting on his laurels. Like I got 4 championships. I don't need any more. I guess he's content. It's asinine, dude. And then you have a fan base that's just a bunch of ass kissing lemmings who just think Steve Kerr's this genius, and they'll just keep shelling out season ticket dollars when we don't know if Steph's going to be available for even half the year. We don't. I mean, Dude, this is embarrassing, man. I'm sorry to digress, but it is. It's shameful, I think. Do you not agree?
I agree in the sense that just by I'm trying to not raise any angry fans, but just by watching.
Why? Don't be afraid of them.
Just by watching like the Spurs and just other teams around, just not the ones that are making the finals, like OKC and the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks have bought a championship, but overall, just the understanding of how their front offices work. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Harrison Barnes started all season for the San Antonio Spurs. He's the veteran player with championship experience. But the Spurs understood the value of youth, talent, and stamina. So they trained Dylan Harper all season to be prepared for a playoff run and to take over the spot of Harrison Barnes. So now Barnes, who was the starter, is now a complementary support role off the bench. That is what a true team and organization that really wants to try to win and transition does.
Julian, there's a flip side to that. Yeah. There's another side of that coin, right? And the other side of the coin is Mitch Johnson maybe is not as great of a coach as people are selling him to be. I look, beating OKC was a huge accomplishment, but you're getting your ass kicked in the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. I actually don't support Harrison Barnes being reduced role-wise, because right now I feel like his size, his physicality, and his experience is something this team is desperately in need of in these NBA Finals. I don't know if I support that, actually, that Harrison Barnes' role being diminished is a good move for the Spurs. I think it's actually a huge swing and a miss, and it goes again back to the power of a head coach. It starts with deciding who plays when. It's a massive amount of power that they hold, and it's why I constantly say a head coach can do far more damage than good. Because one simple decision like that, Harrison, I'm going to bench you. We're going to play Champagny, and we're going to play who's the other guy getting a bulk of the minutes? The sixth man of the year.
Keldon Johnson.
We're going to give them minutes, but they're smaller than Harrison Barnes. They're not as physical, and they're far more inexperienced. Maybe that decision is coming back to bite them in the ass. Maybe Harrison Barnes is a far better matchup against OG Anunoby than Champagny and or Keldon Johnson. That's the other flip side of the coin. I digress. Go ahead.
No, that's a great point, and it's always good to talk about both sides of the coin, because it could be like two things could be true at the same time.
Yes.
But overall, I would say that what we're seeing is just, and one reason why I like sports is because you're able to see life manifest itself in sports. Because there's a lot of like statistical things that are impossible. Like, for example, the Ray Allen shot that went in, the great moments of Larry Bird, and even like Reggie Miller getting that steal and going back and hitting that shot. All of those are statistically impossible. And I've been on here saying that I believe in energy, I believe in sports, I believe in spirituality,
or improbable,
improbable examples. Yeah. And I think what we're seeing with the Knicks, that we're seeing a team that the energy and the intensity and the focus, this is why they say playoffs is a different animal, because they're all running on adrenaline. You understand? And so adrenaline makes you, like, you ever hear about mothers that lift up cars to save their babies?
Yes.
They're in this final run where most human bodies or human beings would be exhausted. This is why LeBron James got swept. This is why Dirk lost his first finals. This is why Shaq got swept, because it's a new experience and it's the first time they've traveled this far. And then you have to look at who does it mean more to, because I think beating OKC meant more to Wembanyama and the Spurs because than actually winning the finals, because they had this thing about let's beat the MVP of SGA, or let's beat the guy that they say was in the same class as me. Because that's why you saw the emotion came out. Once the emotion came out of Wemby, then all of whatever pent-up energy that you need to fuel yourself has dissipated.
Well, did you see Kevin Garnett's comments on that? How
I did, that's why I brought it up.
Was grossly unhappy with Wembanyama expressing that emotion after beating OKC, because the job wasn't finished. And he said he's seen that from players who don't win the finals when they treat the conference finals like it's the real finals. And look, maybe it has nothing to do with anything. And maybe Wemby just, practically shedding tears of joy after beating OKC has no relevance to the current series. But when you hear from the all-time greats, and one message that is similar from nearly all of them is whoever wants it most, whoever has the most hunger, typically is the team that wins, provided talent is not at a mismatch and it's nearly identical. And the Spurs acting that way, who knows? I mean, maybe it has nothing to do with it. Maybe it has something to do with it. But Wembanyama is learning on the fly why nearly every all-time NBA great player does not win a championship until they're in the second half of their 20s, not the first half. It's because experience is very important. And also what you brought up, fatigue. None of these guys on the Spurs outside of Harrison Barnes, and forgive me if I'm forgetting anyone else, has gone this deep in the postseason. Most of these guys are like 20, 21, 22. Their bodies are certainly not used to the rigor of NBA basketball at this level of intensity going into June. Maybe it is fatigue. Who the hell knows? Yeah, Kevin Garnett brought that same point up, that Wembanyama acting like he won the championship last round, not a good look. And now we're seeing the Knicks up 2-0 on this Spurs team that I'm going to imagine comes back next year with a vengeance. By the way, Julian, while I have you, and Kyoko, we're going to bring you on next. I was thinking this exact same thing. I don't want to bring this up now, that Percy Bedford in our chat writes, and it does correlate with the news that came out today that Quinn Snyder, Atlanta Hawks head coach, was signed to an extension by the Atlanta Hawks. I have no clue what Kuminga's future is with the Hawks. He has a team option. I'm only bringing him up because I thought about Kuminga and the Spurs. And what Percy Bedford in the chat writes is that the Spurs need a Kuminga-like player at the 4. God damn, would Kuminga be perfect on this Spurs team. As your small ball 4, who's dynamic, who presents a complete kind of like counterbalance to what Wemby provides, it would be phenomenal. I think that if the Hawks screw this up, and they might, who the hell knows? It's too soon to properly get a read on that organization. But if they screw this up and Kuminga somehow ends up with a team like the Spurs, oh my God, dude. And I'm actually rooting for that just because I'm so bitter at all these Steve Kerr apologists who just will go to the end, I guess, and die on the hill of it was better to trade Kuminga for nothing than to keep him around because we want to cheerlead our boy Steve Kerr. I want those people to be pissing blood over the stress and anxiety and depression that will come with a Jonathan Kuminga going to the Spurs so the Warriors can see that 4 times a year. I want that regret on their faces. It was such a stupid move. It is always going to be a stupid move to give up young talent because your coach, for whatever reason, doesn't like him. Dumb as F. There's no justification for that. I dare you to find me one exception. I don't even think there's ever been an exception where it was better to side with the coach over the talent. I dare you to find one example of that. And I absolutely do want those dumbass mother effers, all these light years clowns who keep watching that show and listening to the most moronic people who have incredibly have influence. And it isn't just the light years crowd. There's also all this local media that still remains, these dying institutions who just keep pretending like Steve Kerr's this good guy and that he's this amazing coach. No, he's a fraud, man. He's a dumbass. He doesn't do shit when it comes to actually working, meaning spending time at the gym, investing in your players, communicating with your players. Dude, he's so overrated. He's a clown, a joke of a head coach. I would love to see Jonathan Kuminga go on the Spurs just so they could shove it down Kerr's throat year after year and make all these idiots who keep apologizing for Kerr to look worse than they already do. I want it. Sign me up for that. Julian, how would you feel about Jonathan Kuminga being on the Spurs? Because sign me up. I want to see Steve Kerr cry. I want to see his dumbass fans cry too.
Well, I do a lot of research daily, and this is the the interesting story that I'm following in off season, and I can say that none of this is verifiable, but there are, from what my research and a lot of conversations that I've been speaking, there are a lot of organizations, like I heard that Brad Stevens really likes Jonathan Kuminga. There's a lot of organizations that have structure that would pounce at the opportunity of bringing Jonathan Kuminga on. And, part like that would be teams such as, like say the Heat or OKC, or teams with cap space that, let's say like the Pistons. And every win that the Knicks have gotten in these playoffs heightens his value.
Yeah.
And so everyone say, okay, they lost this one. Jonathan Kuminga was sixth in minutes on the Hawks, but he ended up third in scoring and had the second best field goal percentage out of the top six guys. He is the reason why they won both those games on both ends of the court. People might say CJ jump shot, the jump shots at the end. However, they were down double digits every time Kuminga checked in, and his energy is the reason why that they had a chance at that.
The Knicks have not lost, Julian, since April 23rd. That will be that was 6 weeks ago, I think Wednesday. So we're about to April 23rd was a Thursday. It's going to be 7 weeks this Thursday since the Knicks last lost a game. If that sounds crazy, it's because it is. And the last team to beat the Knicks, the Hawks. Yeah. And they did it twice. Yeah, and guess who the best player was on the floor for those two wins? It wasn't CJ McCollum. You could argue who was the best offensive player. The best player, because basketball's played on both sides of the court, not just offense, literally. Not being hyperbolic saying this, not exaggerating. Half the game is played on defense. And Kuminga was easily the best player on the Atlanta Hawks. For the two wins that they took from the New York Knicks. New York has not lost since. That was April 23rd. And yet you have these utter dumb-ass morons out there who still think, no, I'd rather listen to Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr's a genius. Go.
Well, real quick.
Dumbass mother
I'll get back on the analysis of Kuminga, but this is diverging slightly. Have you been seeing the narrative online that Mike Brown is in the finals and on the verge of winning a championship because of what he learned from Steve Kerr? Have you heard that narrative from Warrior bubble fans saying that Mike Brown is only winning because of Steve Kerr?
I've seen some chatter like that on social media because that's what Steve Kerr's apologists do. They'll spin anything to somehow make it look like Kerr looks good. I heard the same dumbasses last year pretend that Steve Kerr was suddenly developing Guy Santos. Kerr was benching Guy Santos for 3+ years until he had no one else to play, and then decided to play him when all other options were exhausted. And you call that developing. And these same utterly stupid assholes, the same stupid people who hide, by the way, like they'd rather not have a discussion about this from anybody who feels differently. They would just prefer to hide in their echo chambers, in their little safe spaces. I mean, the last time anybody who's in mainstream media, Larry Krueger was on this show. He literally quit the show. Just halfway through because he didn't want to hear it. Because to him, it's apparently a toxic branding to criticize Steve Kerr. He'd rather just play it safe and inaccurate, but would rather play it safe and duck the smoke than actually have a conversation about how shitty of a head coach Steve Kerr is. It is lunacy. And yes, I have heard that same rhetoric lately, that Steve Kerr's influence somehow is playing a part in Mike Brown coaching the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. Never mind the fact that Mike Brown is 2 stops removed from that experience. Never mind the fact that Mike Brown was a head coach who had led his team to the NBA Finals before he was an assistant on the Golden State Warriors. Never mind the fact that Mike Brown was the last lead assistant on a championship Warriors team, and what he was doing in Sacramento was fantastic. I don't. It's not lost on me that the moment he gets fired from the Kings, they go down into a sinking. They're a sinking ship.
Yeah,
they're one of the
best
biggest
year they
embarrassments.
had in a
Yeah,
while.
and there is no correlation between what Mike Brown is doing right now and what Steve Kerr in your imaginary, fictitious minds that you're conjuring up. That Kerr somehow influenced Mike Brown to be this coach. Bull effing shit. That is just more stupidity from a bunch of fanboys who have an IQ of 10 at most, who can't think logically or critically, who need to be in their groupthink safe spaces instead of having any independent thought of their own. Moronic. Just utter stupidity to sit here and assume that Mike Brown is head coach, is coaching the Knicks 2 wins away from a championship because Steve Kerr's influence somehow helped. Bull effing shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, and remember that.
Yeah, I have seen some of that. It's ridiculous. And it's only from like a very small, that light years, you light year clowns, dude. And side note, for those two hosts, anytime you want to do a crossover, a huge reason why I even have like negative feelings toward those dipshits is because when I was first at Locked On, I reached out. When I was first at Locked On, I actually reached out to those guys and I was like, hey, do you want to do some stuff together? And they were like, at first they said yes, and then they just vanished. And then they just went poof. And they big league. They either thought our show was a threat or they thought they were too good for us. Fine. You want to have that sort of elitist behavior or that sort of thin-skinned behavior, whatever it is. I mean, you ghosted, so we don't even know what the reason is. Fine. We're competition. Let's bring it on. And I present this challenge today. Light years clowns. Let's do a show. Let's do a show where you defend your boy Steve Kerr. Let's do a show where you pretend Jonathan Kuminga was the problem. I effing dare you two idiots. Let's do it, but we're never going to hear from it because, again, they like their safe spaces like anyone else. The media paradigm did not used to be this place where everyone just tucked into their corner of safety. It used to be a place where the truth was valued, where transparency was welcomed, where opposing, challenging ideas were debated. That's what the media used to be. What the hell happened? I'm going to keep it old school here, man. That's just me. But anyways, Julian, I want to get Kyoko on, and I know I sabotaged a lot of your time. Any final thoughts? I apologize for that.
I'll say just to wrap up, I think it's an indictment that Kerr's former assistants, Kenny Atkinson and Mike Brown, met in the Eastern Conference Finals while Warriors have been struggling. And remember when you brought up Guy, that was actually Terry Stott's idea. And Terry Stotts gave Guy the actual, closing biggest playing time. One game that I think maybe Steve Kerr got kicked out. I can't remember. But you can see that it was not always all him. And anytime Steve Kerr stepped away, Luke Walton went undefeated. Mike Brown won a series by him when Steve Kerr left the team by himself. So I forgot what series that was. So he's the highest paid coach in the league. I don't understand. I could have understand extending him just because of good vibes, but to still keep him as the highest paid coach when you have, I know Greg Popovich is not the coach of the Spurs, but he calls all those players from rookies to the star every single day. And that's not the kind of environment that Steve Kerr has created.
You're right. Julian, Popovich believes in relationships. Yeah. And Popovich, maybe most importantly, is humble enough to know he's just a human being like everybody else. And he will have conversations with his players. He will also reach out to his players. He doesn't use his assistant coaches as like this barrier, this boundary that players have to go through.
He doesn't pass notes to his players.
It's embarrassing, dude. And Steve Kerr, meanwhile, just in his little ivory tower, just, acting like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, as he puts bacon and avocado in his bread and then he takes a nap. And then, dude, that interview where he revealed that this last year was so difficult. You don't know shit. Apparently, Steve Kerr has forgotten what difficulty really is. Going back to his early 20s, late teens, whenever it was when his dad was senselessly, tragically murdered as the president of a university in Lebanon. And that supposedly flipped the switch in Kerr's head and turned him into the guy he is now. Been a long time since apparently you've remembered or thought about what a horrible feeling is, because lately, the last 10, 15 years, apparently Steve Kerr, his idea of difficulty, of a challenge, of strife is, oh no, I don't know how to find minutes for all my players. oh no, I have this guy that doesn't shoot the ball in 0.5 seconds like I want him to, and that's dry. Oh no, I can't take my naps and eat avocado bacon sandwiches anymore. The horror. Get the F out of here, man. It's repulsive hearing this guy's like every word that comes from his mouth is just vomit now. He disgusts me, dude. I'm just yuck.
I'll leave
2 more years of this shit, and all because and I agree. Sugar Sweets, who writes Kerr is trash, but he's the guy Steph wants to go out with. And again, it's like, okay, I guess we're just bending over for everything Steph wants. He's earned it, fair. But at the same time, it's like I'm old enough to have seen teams move on from talent and still be okay and extend greatness. I've also seen teams tell their players, we know that's what you want, but you can't get everything you want in life because life ain't effing fair, and you can still change his coach without him flipping a lid. Like Joe Lacob, again, just of all the disappointments this offseason, he's clearly number one for being feckless, for being subservient, apparently, for putting business above the smartest decision that would result in success. And I don't even know if it was a good business move, because ultimately, like Stephen Curry, he's got to play. I don't have faith he's going to be available for a lot of games. And those are going to be a lot of very depressing nights at Chase Center when he's injured and out, and you're hoping that, well, what's the backup plan? I still don't believe that LeBron James is coming, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But always a pleasure, by the way, Julian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I just want to say one last thing because you brought up Steph Curry. How is Steve Kerr going to hold Steph Curry accountable at the age of 39 with this big stardom, this, all of this this new shoe contract? I think Steve Kerr lied again to Dunleavy and Joe Lacob, like he lied that he could make it work with Kuminga, because you're not going to see no accountability for Steph Curry. You're not going to see him benched in the fourth quarter. You're not going to see him taken out because he has 7 turnovers. It's just more lies to just get an extension. So I'll leave you at that. I did email you.
Before you go, Julian, so I see the link you sent me for this Mike Dunleavy Jr. crying story.
So 95.7 the game.
It wasn't 95.7 the game. It was a Twitter account that nobody in their right mind should ever trust. Warriors World. This is a Twitter account that their whole existence is based on selling swag from a merch store.
Yeah.
And when these idiots start or whoever the idiot is behind this thing, it's anonymous, right? I mean, I have zero respect for anonymity to begin with. I don't know who the hell is behind Warriors World. I do know this. They don't know shit about hoops. They have zero connections to the Warriors organization. And what 95.7 the game and you are relying on for this report that the meeting was intense, and at one point Mike Dunleavy Jr. was crying. It's apparently from Warriors World, or did 95.7 the game get that from Warriors World?
No, they got to like I always said. I was like, it's unconfirmed. I don't know how much real it is, but yeah,
it's not real.
Yeah,
it's not real. Do not ever pretend something is real when the source of your information is an anonymous Twitter account.
Out there, I did not say it in a.
I know
it was 100% true, but yeah,
I'm not lecturing you. It's just a learning experience for the world in general.
Yeah.
If the source is anonymous, if the source is some clown fan account, don't trust it. It doesn't mean it's real. All right. Simple lesson from a journalism professor in terms of discerning what is information that's valid and objective and what is not. If Warriors World is saying something like it's fact, it ain't fact. It's just some dumbass fan trying to be relevant. That's it. Unless I'm missing something, Julian.
No, well, I would say, what does that say about 95.7 the game? Because
I don't give them credit either.
Yeah,
these
exactly.
I actually know some of these guys. Yeah. They're losers, dude. These are people who, the only reason they have their jobs at that station is because they kiss the right ass. They're not there because they're talented. They're not there because they're intellects. They're there because they kiss ass. That's it. That station is in bed with the Warriors, man. That it's radio's dead. Stop pretending anyone who works in the radio industry is someone you can consider credible. The people who are credible are making more money not working in radio. It's a dead industry making no money. The only reason why so many people still listen to it is because it's free. It's available in your older car by just the press of the button. I don't even know if new cars I'm guessing they still do, but I mean, just stop pretending radio is a credible industry. It's a clown show. It's an industry where all that's left is a couple of play-by-play guys and their kids, like in a Nepo baby industry. No, that's embarrassing that 95.7 The Game literally relied on a fan account for a story. That's absurd. And what I'm sitting here telling you folks again, stop pretending what's said on the radio means something. They're clowns too, and they don't make shit for money, side note. There's a reason why they blew out all those people. It's because they were making real money. They're replaceable with people who make no money. And when people don't make money doing what they do, you're not going to get the best talent. You're not. The most talented people work in places where they can make good money. There's no money in radio. So stop trusting those people. Julian, I love you, man. Any final thoughts?
No, I know there's someone else waiting, so I'll leave it there. We'll talk soon, Si. Thank you.
All right, brother. Have a good night. Julian, Kayoko, I'm going to bring you up in just a second, but Warrior, who I love, side note, I know you're fairly new to the chat, but you've been posting some incredible stuff. Warrior writing that Popovich calls Steve Kerr an a-hole, and I'm highlighting that because he's right. And Julian actually sent me that clip. It's an old clip. It's from a few years ago, and let me play that clip right now. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Julian who sent me that clip. It was another. This was actually in an email. Let's go to the mailbag real quick. Kayoko, sit tight. I'm going to get to you in just 1 second. But when someone sends me an email with value, let's get to
letters.
it.
We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
All right, and Warrior wrote in the chat that Pop called Steve an a-hole, Steve Kerr an a-hole. And we got this email from, where is it from? Dwayne Middleton. Thank you. Dwayne Middleton writes, and again, if you ever want to email us, maybe the best way to get a message across, our email address is warriors24pod@gmail.com. And Dwayne Middleton writes, greetings, Si. Coach Pop was probably joking, wasn't he? Enjoy, anticipate that all is well. And give me 1 second here. Cue this up. So this was Pop. Again, I think this was 3 years ago. And Pop said this in jest, unfortunately. But here's the clip that got sent to me. Let me turn the volume down on the music so you folks can all hear this, okay? Forgive me for that. Here is the clip that people are talking about. This is from 3 years ago when Greg Popovich called Steve Kerr an a-hole.
Steve said that we saw that you've kind of been rejuvenated after this summer, obviously, the big draft.
Well, let me just, what was I being rejuvenated from? Was I in a mental institution, or was I depressed and curled up in my bedroom or something?
Oh, Steve said it, and he knows you better than I do.
Steve's an asshole.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell him that tonight after the game.
See, and that's the part.
Knowing that you have an appreciation for guys who do the subtle things.
Steve said.
And that's the part. When he goes, we're going to have dinner after the game. It's like, God damn it. Why couldn't you just have ended it with, he's an asshole? Now, do I want to make a short from that? Yes, and I might in the near future. But it wasn't genuine. He said it in jest. Unfortunately. Dwayne, great email, though. We'll get it to another email in just a second, but Kayoko has been waiting patiently. He joins us from Ottawa, Canada, the other side of the continent. Kayoko, how you doing?
Yo, what's up, Cyrus?
What's up, man? Do you have solar panels on the roof of your house?
No, I don't.
Never mind. You live in the other side of the country. I can't make money from you. Kayoko, how are you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Good, you? Good, you?
I've been better, been worse, just annoyed at the way the world's going, but another day. It's Monday. How are you, Kayoko? More importantly, look, you're young. You still have a whole life ahead of you, and you're still in college. God bless you. It's summer. You should be out there chasing strange. You should be out there experimenting with mind-altering substances that don't harm you permanently. Are you doing any of those things? And if not, what are you doing this summer?
No, sir, I'm not doing any of those things.
What are you doing then? Are you working?
Yeah, of course, but right now I'm just outdoors, just on a park bench, and I saw you guys streaming. I was like, okay, I might as well join.
Why are you in a park? What's going on there?
No, just chilling out. It's been pretty chilly these past few days, but it's slowly starting to warm up here in Ottawa. So
you're just on a walk. Like, do you put the earbuds in or the AirPods in and just listen to podcasts and whatever else, and that's your exercise?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, I mean, I was planning on going to the gym later today and then get home before the game, but I was on a walk like right now, so like I'm still going to the gym, but I saw you guys like streaming. I was like, oh, okay, I might as well like join,
Beautiful. Well, great to have you. Sugar Sweets in the chat, by the way, saying that they thought there was a 1 in a million chance Kerr would come on the show after today. No way. I don't want Kerr on the show. Like, if Steve Kerr came on the show by some miraculous fashion, do you think he'd answer anything straight? He'd come up with some bullshit excuse like he always does for anything and everything. And then he'd bitch about it after, like, oh, those were hard questions. And Ray, don't put me on that show again, please. Like it's no, F him, dude. I don't want Kerr on this show. You've seen how he is when I go to the press conferences and try to ask him serious questions. He just, he'll come up with some bullshit excuse. Like last time I was at a press conference this past season, and I asked him about the ridiculously exorbitant amount of different starting lineups. Which number sometimes 37, 38 different starting lineups in a season. I think this past year we had over 40 different starting lineups in a season. And I asked him, how is that conducive to success? He never answered me directly. He just turned around and said, oh, I guess they're going to start calling me a socialist or a communist. And that was it. He just joked and literally diverted from the question and briefly, I think, used injuries as an excuse, or he called himself a tinkerer. It's just, what's the point? I mean, what's the point, man? 95.7, the game gets him on weekly, and all they do is lob him softballs. And because they're feckless little worthless cowards, dude. Anyways, Kayoko, you can see how I'm feeling. It's Monday. We see people who don't deserve their positions of power stay in their position of power. The world isn't just for another day, and I'm annoyed about it. How are you, more importantly, though?
Solid.
Good.
Yeah, I'm
thinking about the Warriors, man.
Disappointed, like very disappointed.
Yeah.
It's really starting to hit me, but
I also don't like my shirt's wrinkles, or like just won't. Anyways, I apologize, man. I'm in a mood today.
I saw it.
Go for it, brother. I love having you on the show, though. I love your vibe.
I think I saw like a report by like Mark Spears. Again, I'm not very into like journalism, so I don't really. What?
Keep going.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not very into like journalism, so I don't really know who's credible or who's not. But I saw like a report saying that they'd like be happy to bring back Kristaps, and I'm like, what? So you're basically running it back with the same roster, dude, like the same coach.
I've seen a few people bring up on the socials Kristaps Porzingis, but I haven't seen anybody credible bring that up. It's just mostly fans like spitballing like what the team could look like this upcoming season, and I see people including Porzingis in these hypothetical roster constructions. In my opinion, Kayoko, and I'm glad you brought it up, it would be an absolute disaster bringing Kristaps Porzingis back. Why would you bring back a guy that's not going to be available for most likely half the season? Why would you bring back a guy that has no post game? Why would you bring back a guy that, again, is he tall? Yes. Is he physical? No. I mean, like, would you want him back for anything less than, say, the veteran minimum?
What's vet minimum? I don't really understand. Like,
veteran minimum for Kristaps Porzingis would be about $3.5 million approximately. Annually.
I mean, if it was a vet min, sure, but anything more than that, no. Like, I've said that to everyone.
Now, this is what I keep seeing from people. And again, I don't know if Mark Spears wrote that, because Mark Spears is actually credible, and I'm actually going to his account right now to see if he did in fact say that. But here's where I draw a very hard line on Kristaps Porzingis. The Golden State Warriors have 2 salary slots they can use for free agency this offseason. Slot 1 is the mid-level exception, the mid-level taxpayer exception. And it's good for somewhere in the $15 to $16 million range. We have not gotten the final amounts for next year's salary cap and CBA yet, but they're projecting 15 to 16 million. Then you also have the biannual exception, good for 5 to 6 million. I'm not going to lose my shit if they use the biannual exception on Porzingis, which again, 5-6 million. All right, fine. If you use that mid-level exception on Porzingis, good for $15-16 million, and you blow your entire wad on Porzingis, on Tingus, Jesus Christ. Mike Dunleavy truly just does not know jack shit. Like, he's just an abject failure as a GM if that's what he does. That's my take on it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, it's more so like, well, okay, I do actually have a few like positive notes I'll get to, but as for the Tingus Pingus thing, yeah, I hate how it was like a panic move, and it's like, oh, well, we got to move Kuminga. Like, we kind of promised him that we'll get him out of this environment. So, but by then his value was so low. I was actually the person advocating for the Kings trade. I was like, oh, like a 2027 first round pick. Like, I get it's protected, but at the very least, we're getting 2 viable pieces plus a pick, and instead we got Porzingis, who barely played. He couldn't even play back-to-backs, which makes that Kuminga deal even worse in hindsight when you realize that the Knicks are on a historic run right now. So,
and I love that you brought up the fact that the back-to-backs are an issue for Porzingis. That was one of the things said at the press conference with Kerr and Dunleavy, where they emphasized needing a roster that can give their veterans rest on those back-to-backs. Well, Porzingis is another guy who will not be available on back-to-backs. Why the hell would you want that? Like, use that money wisely, please. Like I'm advocating for Rui Hachimura. Like if you're going to spend that $16 million on anyone, and the Lakers are not going to match an offer like that, give Rui Hachimura $16 million a year. At least he's available each night. And, at least he has a physical presence in the inside. And he's younger, so he can play back-to-backs. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Rui is good. I've seen some Quentin Grimes. I think his asking price is going to be a bit more than that.
Agreed. I'm not
if
bringing
you
up
want me
Grimes
to be honest.
Yes, I'm not bringing up Grimes to the Warriors for that reason. I think the Warriors are priced out. He's going to ask for more than $16 million this season, I think.
Dude, yeah, but I just want this team to take a big swing the same way that the Knicks took a massive swing on Brunson. 33rd pick in the draft, did not have that much value, and they brought him in and said, "Hey, we'll build around you." And look, if it works out, it works out. But at least we're trying something. And as a Carmelo Anthony fan, like, dude, people don't understand how much better this Knicks ownership is compared to what they were in like the 2010s, where they were relying on Amari Stoudemire. I'm sure you remember those days, the Jeremy Lin.
You're talking about, the Knicks owner is James Dolan, who's an absolute piece of shit. But what James Dolan did do to finally stem the decades of mediocrity with the Knicks is he brought in Worldwide West and Leon Rose. And he gave them the keys, and he's letting them run this ship. And huge surprise that another front office led by former agents, relationship builders, right? Guys whose entire job is studying human beings. Huge surprise that another front office comprised of folks like Bob Myers are winning. And that's what they did. And James Dolan bless him for staying out of it. I mean, that's the best thing he could have possibly done, man. But James Dolan's a piece of shit, dude. Like, it is weird to me that Dolan ultimately would be the guy up on that stage hoisting the trophy. But to me, I give Leon Rose and Worldwide West all the credit for putting that together. And if you're a Knicks fan, congratulations.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a fan, but I do like them. Like I've been keeping up with the team for a while, but the reason why I'm bringing them up specifically is because like they took this massive swing and it ended up paying off. The only way to escape drought is by taking swings, and I feel like the Warriors are too scared to do that. They think that taking a swing is a risk. For me, it's more so of the house wins, but if you do win, like it's obviously amazing. I don't really know if that makes sense, but
no, it makes
do you get what I'm trying to say here?
Kayoko, it makes perfect sense, and you've actually highlighted something that is symbolic of a much larger systemic issue, which is companies, organizations deathly afraid, huge, fat, as Borat once said, a vag like a wizard's sleeve. They're just huge. They're huge cowards. They're huge cowards. Every organization, and I don't know why this is. I don't know what happened where companies, organizations in the last 5 years or so, maybe the pandemic had something to do with it. Maybe it's just human instinct. I have no clue. But we went from a world where it was very well recognized that if you want to be successful, if you want your organization, your institution, your company to grow, you got to take risks. You have to. If you're risk averse, you're not going to grow. You might maintain the status quo, but you're not going to grow. You're not going to expand. And that is what so many, I mean, Kayoko, you're about to enter the job market and you may experience this firsthand in terms of hiring practices. People around the world are acting deathly afraid. And that includes the Warriors. They're and sorry for being so crass saying this, but I just don't know how else to put it to convey the effect it deserves. The Warriors, starting with Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Steve Kerr, they're huge pussies. They are. You're right. I agree with you.
Yeah, to add on to that, like, final point and topic, people are kind of forgetting that, like, the reason why, like, this team even won 4 chips in, like, a decade was because of the biggest risk, I think, in sports history. And it was Stephen Curry or Monte Ellis. Monte was giving you 20 a night, yeah. Mississippi Bullet, efficient scorer, volume scorer, and they chose Curry over him. And I mean, it's easily like the riskiest decision I've ever seen or heard of, but you see what it did for this franchise. So why not take a swing on a dude in the draft, or like a new coach, or and for me with the coaches, it's not necessarily only the lineups. It's more of like a shelf life or like a voice in the locker room. I feel like that has a huge implication on how the players play. Like, if you can't motivate your players at the very least in those like garbage lineups, like how do you expect to win? And I think we kind of saw that with Popovich. Like, I don't think Pop was going to stay coaching the Spurs even after, or even if he didn't have a stroke. Like, I think it was over. Like, he won a chip in 2014. They tried staying competitive a bit after that, but nothing really came of it.
They were bad. Kayoko, just to add to that, they were bad for a while. You're absolutely right. They were even drafting poorly. I mean, that Josh Primo pick, I mean, don't ignore that. That happened. The only reason why I disagree with you is because Victor Wembanyama was drafted when Pop was still the coach. And something tells me if Pop did not experience that stroke, he would still be running that bench, largely because of Wembanyama. I mean, who would pass that up, right? Having that dude as your lead player. But I also hear what you're saying too, where like the Popovich experience was literally and figuratively getting old, and they were bad for a large number of years before that Wembanyama pick.
And a lot of Spurs fans wanted him out, and it's like, I mean, can you blame them, bro? It's more of a voice thing. Like, I don't think anyone thinks
right.
Pop is a bad
You're
coach,
absolutely
but
right.
it's more of like like they want to experience something new and fresh and like take swings. And I mean, like keeping like the dude who has all the power, as like the voice of like the locker room, it's like keeping like Pat Riley as like a GM, or Eric Spoelstra. Like I'm out on them. I don't believe in them anymore. Their draft picks are solid, but they don't really do like any form of like you mentioned it, ingenuity. Like it's more or less like the same thing over and over, pestering with other front offices and then just refusing to take a swing. They're not moving off of Bam Adebayo, but who knows? You could probably move off of him and get J-Dub, right? So yeah, a lot of things play into it. For me, it's more so about having a voice, like a new, fresh voice that can actually motivate the players to even bother trying on defense. The amount of times I've seen Moses Moody just like jog back on defense. If that was like Mike Brown, I guarantee you we wouldn't really see that. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
I'm not correcting you because I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, and another thing to point out, I find it kind of funny how I was like really against like Mike Brown like leaving, and he goes to the Kings and he makes them a contender, the Kings of all places. Yeah. And then he goes to the Knicks, and now they're about to sweep the finals and are on a historic run. And then he went to the Cavs, and that 07 Cavs team with Braun, they went to the finals as well. Now, granted, Braun didn't play good, but it kind of just shows like the Warriors took like a fraud as like the head coach over the dude who was really running it. This is why I try telling Warrior fans, I promise you, that 2022 chip, it was 3 people. It was Wiggins, it was Poole, it was Curry, and then it was also Mike Brown. Like, that's it. That's all that it came down to.
Kyoko, I've been telling folks since 2023, because Mike Brown left right after that championship, that his loss would be profound, mainly because and what we're like one of the only shows who keeps reporting this. Mike Brown, his personality is that of a workaholic. Like, Mike Brown's the guy who sleeps on his couch in his office and just wakes up, pours a cup of coffee in the same mug that he's been using for a week straight, because who cares about washing a mug? All he cares about is basketball and what he can do to make things better. That's who they had. That's who the Warriors had as their top assistant, a guy who's married to his job, a guy who his work ethic is unequaled. And they never replaced that. And Steve Kerr, as the guy who's just laid back and just lets people do whatever the hell they want. Look, that's fine. Your employees will love a manager like that. But the Warriors, when they need leadership, that's where it's nowhere to be found. And that's where a guy like Mike Brown is sorely missed, with all the extra hours he was putting in scheming, planning. Like, his loss was insurmountable, dude. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and Kerr doesn't sound like motivated. Like, there's been so many times where he looked burnt out, and I feel like the moment you're burnt out, like, it's kind of like it's time to move on, and it's time to move off of Draymond.
Kyoko, that's why when all these people were excited about Steph coming back and they're all pumped up, and I know you were too, and I'm not sitting here judging you, because I get it. So many people, it was just a great moment in time when Steph knocked out the LA Clippers. But then you had the other side of that coin, schmoes like me repeatedly yelling to avoid to this audience, thank you, but it apparently was not enough. Because you have on the other side of the coin clowns like these light years idiots and local media that's a lot of people also listen to, and they're celebrating like you folks that were celebrating. And guess what? You got Steve Kerr back. Steve Kerr was out. He was burned out. He told his coaching staff, "We're done. I'm retiring. I quit. Enough." And then Steph comes back that last a week or so, plays those 5 games, knocks the Clippers out, and suddenly Steve Kerr's feeling good again. Yay! In hindsight, Kayoko, are you still happy that the Warriors beat the Clippers?
Nah.
This show, if you want big picture intelligence, you've come to the right place. If you want fanboy content where all you want to hear is Steve Kerr's amazing, dude, who cares how bad the Warriors are going to be? We got Steph. Oh my God. At least we can, for the next 2 years, just sit back and watch the guy who brought us 4 championships. And we could just be happy that the tail end of the dynasty, we could just sit back and reminisce for the next 2 years. That's what all these other shows sound like. And if you want that, great. It's all out there for you. But they're not being real. They're not being genuine, and they sure as shit don't know anything when it comes to this actual sport. Because what the Warriors are doing, it's counterproductive. It does not epitomize success. This is not the path for maintaining winning. This is the path for let's just sell tickets based on nostalgia. It's asinine, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not judging the individuals per se. I am judging absolute dipshits like those Light Years clowns, who I will never understand how they even have an audience to begin with. I blame like the idiots at KNBR, the idiots at 95.7 The Game, the idiots at The Athletic, just anybody who acts like a cheerleader for Steve Kerr. Shame on you. You're not doing your job. I mean, unless your job is literally to be an extension of the Warriors PR wing. If your goal is to just make the Warriors look good, great. But that's not journalism. That's PR. That's marketing. Is that what you? I guess is The Athletic just a PR institution? Just do they exist just to hype up and cheerlead for the local teams? I promise you this: a huge reason why I love New York fans is because they won't bullshit you, and their media does not allow a shitty product to pass. Okay? When things are going great, media will act accordingly. When things are going bad, they will call your ass out in a second. Not here in the Bay Area, where it's soft as F, where the majority of these clowns who work in this media are trustafarians relying on mommy and daddy's money and connections. And it's a pathetic scene here, dude. So I appreciate all of you coming to this show for actually getting a passionate host, getting authentic content, getting accurate content, and shame on literally every other show out there. It's a joke. It's a joke. They all emerged simultaneously as the dynasty emerged. Now they need to actually provide real analysis. None of them can do it. None of them can do it. All they know how to do and what to do, whether it's a Warriors world, whether it's a Light Years, is, yay, go Warriors. Yay, that's my team. Yay. F you, man. You're a simp. You're an idiot. You don't know shit. And it is astounding to me that they have audiences, that they have influence. That part I will never understand because I didn't grow up with anything like that. So I don't have that perspective of a 20-something-year-old who all they know growing up is, a fan account. All they do is say positive things. I don't have that perspective. I'm sorry. That was not what I grew up on in terms of what is good and bad content. And I don't think that's good content at all. It's not. There are plenty of other things in this world that make you feel good about shit. Exercise. Do what Kayoko's doing. Go outside. Surf. Ride a bike. Find a hobby. Read a book. Play some effing chess. Instead of just relying on people to perpetuate your echo chambers. F that is what I say. And all these other shows right now are just echo chambers of Warriors positivity. Steve Kerr's great. Brandon Pajemski. Yeah, I like him. Let's give him $20 million a year. Are you out of your effing mind? Like what? Jesus Christ. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? Like Warrior writes, I like Jim Park. Why? He's a random just human being. He has no media background. He developed a following because he ripped on Steve Kerr. Great. But then ask him to do actual analysis. He misses on everything. I don't get Jim Park fandom either. He's literally just a guy working at a local car wash or whatever the hell he's doing. Maybe he's a programmer for Facebook. He's just a random schmo who was a Kings fan until 2013. He turns into a Warriors fan, like half the bandwagon, and you like him? Like, more power to you. I guess a lot of you are just very easily amused. I don't get it. Sorry, I don't get it. Yes, money checkup. He's just an absolute rando. There's a quote that someone said recently that I loved, which is that if your mom can do it, it doesn't have value. And that's not a slight on moms, but it's a lot more about if anybody can do it, why do you value it? Like Jim Park, oh, great. He's on Twitter and he writes Steve Kerr sucks. Okay, that's great. He's like the only other guy with any influence besides myself who's actually been criticizing Steve Kerr. Okay, but what else is he doing that actually impresses you? Are that many of you just easily impressed? Maybe I'm just disenfranchised with humanity as a whole. I don't know. Rich Dub in the chat adding, loyalty ended with Clay. It's time to get a succession plan. Yeah, they failed Wiseman, Kuminga, because they didn't invest the time to develop them. Yes. People develop in Santa Cruz. Yes. Why give Kerr credit for that? Agreed. Wholeheartedly agree. Kayoko, I want to bring Chardol on and start wrapping it up. I feel like an hour plus of just me being negative is enough. Any final thoughts, Kayoko?
No, it's all good. Yeah, I was just gonna say just one or two more things.
Please.
Curry, I don't really know if I I know all these fans or what they call themselves, but they like watching the final days of Steph, and they always say stuff like, oh, you know, all good things come to an end. For me, dude, I don't like watching it. He looks exhausted. He looks tired after every single loss, after every single win. And it's sad because you can see that his body can't really keep up. So why not surround him with talent and make him go out gracefully? Why are you trying to to me, it's going to make his legacy look even worse than how many hits it's already taken of him missing the playoffs the most time by an MVP ever, by a large margin. So there's that. But I'll say this, if they do draft a guard, I think Pods is out of there. I think what they're going to try doing is extending him just to move off of him. Because by then, Pods would have already been 25, 24. I hope
you're right. He turns 24 this year. So no longer that spring chicken so many of you out there like to pretend he is. He's not as young as he used to be. He's starting to become a veteran. Yes.
He's and I mean, if he wants 20 mil, I can see them pestering other people, extending him, and then just moving off of him.
Yeah, but I can kind of see that. The problem with that strategy is you give him a contract like that. Who's going to take it? Who are you going to trade him to? That would be dumb enough to that's dumb enough to think he's worth 20 million.
Ironically, the Kings
a deal. I promise you this: if you give Podziemski a contract for 20 million a year, you're stuck with him. No, who's going to want that? That's almost as toxic as the Jordan Poole contract. Like unless you have a dummy like the Wizards out there who's willing to trade you and you get back a Chris Paul at 38, yay. You're stuck with them. There is no positive to giving Podziemski an extension. If the Warriors are stupid enough to do that, you're effed. You now have that block of your salary cap just taken up for who knows how long. It's insane.
Realistically,
Rich Dub in the chat is right. No, by the way, Trenchia Gel Carroll writes Podziemski is older than JK. No, he's younger by about 2 or 3 months. They're both 23. They're both going to turn 24 this coming season. Rich Dub writes, trade Podziemski for a first rounder, then draft Bubba Miller. I don't think you can trade Podziemski for a first. The fact that you could have traded him to Philly for Jared McCain last year, and Mike Dunleavy did not do that. It's just a hope killer for me. It's like if they're not going to do that, I have no hope they're going to trade him. Period. As long as Steve Kerr's in charge, I think Podziemski's going to have a role. I wish you were right, Kyoko, but I think the reality is the Warriors like Podziemski. It's crazy. And again, he's okay. He's okay. He's a mid player, but to start him, to give him starters minutes, that's loco. Okay, that does not represent high intellect basketball. Like that represents stupid basketball. That represents Steve Kerr, the GM, just like he was in Phoenix when he got unceremoniously pushed out. And we're seeing the exact same effect now with the Warriors. This is Steve Kerr's show. Joe Lacob is stupid enough to keep just deferring to him. And Kerr doesn't know shit when it comes to evaluating and judging talent. He thinks Podziemski's good. He thinks Podziemski should get starter minutes. He thinks Podziemski should be a starter. That's asinine, man. I think we're effed. I think they're just effed. I hope you're right.
Dude.
I hope you're right, but I don't think they're trading him.
I mean,
I don't think they are, man. I it's depressing, dude. This whole shit is depressing, and people go, "Why are you so negative?" What's positive about the Warriors? That hasn't happened over 4 years ago. Like it's.
Yeah, every time I see a post, it's like always like a negative, and all the comments are always a negative about like the Warriors. Like it's so, dude, it sucks being a fan. I'm like constantly clowned on by my friends, and they're like, damn, like it's ancient. Like the Warriors are ancient.
Kyoko, the next time I sit here and tell you don't root for something, trust me. All right, like the next time I sit here and tell you this is not good for the team, trust me. All right, like the Steph coming back last year was the worst thing that could have happened to this team. If Steph did not come back for those final 5 games of those 2 play-ins, Kerr would have been gone, and we could have actually focused on the future. I've had a couple people sit here and tell me, "Isn't it better that you're at least in this phase of the?" They're basically trying to spin it as, "Isn't it better that you're at the point where you're celebrating the end of a dynasty instead of rebuilding?" And I'm like, no. Like why is celebrating the end of a dynasty better than a rebuild? Like the end of a dynasty, like that just means, okay, your team is old and there has-beens and they're going nowhere. What is there to celebrate? We celebrate those dynasties after these guys retire and move on. I'll celebrate it then. I'll think back fondly then. I'm not thinking fondly when I see these guys aging before my eyes playing mediocre basketball. I absolutely would prefer a rebuild or a bridge, right? Like a transition, like something that it involves moving forward, not stagnating and sticking to the past. Like rebuild, yes. It's the only logical choice here. Rebuild, not run it back. Like this is insane. This is absolutely insane.
The weird thing about this too is that like if you look at that, like who is like integral or even part of like during those runs in the 2010s, they're all gone. Every single one of them, except for 3 people. Well, technically 4 if you want to include Lacob, but it's Curry, Draymond, and Steve Kerr. Yeah. But out of like what, like Livingston is gone, dude. Like we didn't keep Livingston around. We didn't keep Iggy around. Like he kind of just got phased out, and it's time to move off of Draymond.
Yeah. You want to know what's really sad is if Steve Kerr had his way, Andre Iguodala would still be playing today, because Iguodala was one of many players who was able to hide Steve Kerr's ineptness, right? Like Steve Kerr was comfortable hiding behind talent. When the talent isn't there and he actually has to coach and make important decisions that are complicated, yeah, he's exposed. He's exposed time and time and again for being just an absolute moron. Muhammad Alavi in the chat suggesting pick up who's JB?
Jaylen Brown. Dude, why would they accept that?
Who's JB though?
Jaylen Brown. Why would the Celtics want that?
How are you getting Jaylen Brown if you're the Warriors?
You can't.
No, I agree. You can't. And Kevin Love on a veteran minimum. I wouldn't hate that part of it, as long as you don't also have Porzingis. Anyway, so before you go, Kyoko, and then we'll do the danger zone. I got one more email to read too. What are your thoughts on the fact that certain Warriors fans, they're clinging to the hope that LeBron James will come to the Warriors? I personally don't think it's going to happen. Could be wrong. I'm not sitting here. It's just me giving an opinion. I don't have sources telling me one way or the other. I think it's the best option if you want to be relevant this year and actually keep things interesting. To me, the path is LeBron, and then you trade that Jimmy Butler contract for Anthony Davis or an equivalent, maybe Joel Embiid. To me, that's the only hope you have to actually make this season something worth being interested in. Otherwise, you're just dead in the water. You're a team full of just old ass dudes, a grossly incompetent head coach. I don't, the number 11 pick might get you somebody interesting, but I don't know if like that dude by himself is going to move the needle much. Yeah, this is bad. Yeah.
I'll say this. If I was a competent GM, watching how good, like how win now the Thunder and the Spurs, I'd say, are, and even like a lot of teams in the East, I think it's better to take a step back and just wait it out. Wait out that Jimmy Butler contract. Don't do anything based off of, we got to win now because it's over. There is no win now window. I know I sound...
No, Kyoka, I'm not saying you sound... I think that's a smart take. Here's why I'm not rolling with it. Stephen Curry is going to sign an extension. Okay, and I don't know what that extension is going to entail. Like he's eligible for a 2-year extension worth close to $140 million. And again, I don't know if they're going to give him that. It wouldn't. I mean, you obviously give him a 1-year extension, 2 years of that amount. I mean, so but if Joe Lacob is going to keep Steve Kerr around for Stephen Curry, then clearly Steph is the priority here. And let's say the Warriors give him that contract. Do you still feel the same way about Jimmy Butler's contract, just letting that expire? Or do you now realize why I'm personally advocating for them to trade Jimmy and get like an Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid? Because I don't know how else to improve this team.
No, okay. So here. No, I get where you and all the millions of other people are coming from, but to me, you're acting on impulsiveness. Like you and I both know that this team is not winning anything. They won 37 games. They won 37 against a third of the league tanking. I can see them actually winning 32 next year. And that's with trying to improve with the roster. So why not wait it out? Let Kristaps walk, please. Don't do anything stupid and act on impulsiveness. And then when Jimmy Butler's contract finally ends, you're not going to be stuck in like a chokehold with like a Joel Embiid or a Paul George contract. Just let it end. And okay, basically go into like a mini rebuild is what I'm trying to say. Let all these... Yeah, just let all these like contracts expire. Let Podziemski play out his 4th year thing. Let Melton walk. Let Horford walk. Don't extend Draymond. Draymond, even if he picks up his player option, don't sweat it because it's gonna expire. And then you would have Curry, who's making a lot of money, but then he'd be surrounded by like a lot better talent. That's what I would do. That's what I would personally do. It doesn't sound very ideal, and I know next season is going to be boring, but I'm just thinking like more big picture because if anyone's paying attention to the Spurs, like, dude, the Thunder were taken to like a home game, like on their final game, and even then, they basically had like 3 starters out just to barely lose. So, like, are we really beating that team healthy next year?
No. Kayoko,
Exactly.
I want to wrap the show up. You were fantastic as always. Have some fun out there, right? You're only young once.
Of course. Just please, Lacob, stop screwing this over. Like, stop screwing this up. It's time. Yeah. And the dynasty. Clay is gone. Iggy is gone. Livingston is gone. Barbosa's gone. Bogut is gone. Zaza is gone. All these people are gone. So, it's over.
I hear you. Have a good one, Kayoko. It is over. Give me 30 seconds here, and then we'll do one email go to the danger zone, wrap it up. All right. Thank you for that. Letting me have that quick break here. I had to let the dog out. All right. One more email, and then we'll go back to the danger zone. Been a minute since we've done that, but let's open the email bag one more time.
We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
All right. This email was sent from Money Checkup, who's in our chat today. Where's the music? Why are you muted? Where's my music? There you go. Damn technology. Money Checkup emails. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll summarize it. It's a long email with a lot of numbers, which wouldn't translate to good reading, but Money Checkup writes, he wrote this to both myself and Armando Laura. I was running Cyrus and Professor. First of all, I want to say that if I had kids, there is not a single NBA player that I would trust to watch my kids besides Steph. I think I trust Harrison Barnes. I'm very disappointed that I can't think of more players I would trust to watch my kids. We continue. Deep down, he seems to have an integrity that is absent among most professional athletes, and in that way, he may be peerless. However, as good as he was, and still is, parentheses, he can still be the best player on a given night, although not consistently, parentheses. I believe that as the years go on, when we look back at this era of basketball, we will look at Steph as someone who was in a fortunate situation and not as the league's top 10, even 20 players of all time, especially if you look at the history of the league. One, I'm sorry, I started to pause. I'm like, I wasn't expecting this. One, Steph is a below average defender at best, even when at his peak. He gets targeted, can't stop drives, or players close to the basket. There were times in his career when he did average a decent amount of steals, but I would argue he could gamble with the strong defense surrounding and behind him. He has a career average of 1.5 steals per game, which ranks him 84th and shows he was never a consistent defender, with the exception of a few outlying seasons. This alone should put him out of the top 10, if not the top 20, if you consider players on an individual basis. Two, another thing to be considered is his ranking as the greatest shooter of all time. The natural comparisons is the three-point line in the three-point line era are Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. However, because of hand-checking rule changes post-2004, these are not one-to-one comparisons. And this is where I'm not going to go through the nitty-gritty, but Money Checkup provides a comparison of Stephen Curry to Reggie Miller with all sorts of stats, and they're comparable. Not to say that this makes Miller Curry's peer when it comes to shooting, but had Reggie Miller played in Curry's era, could he have put up comparable or even better offensive numbers in a given season? Could Curry have put up similar career numbers had he played in the late 80s or early 90s? The evidence is against the latter and supports the former more strongly. Adam Silver himself has singled out Curry as someone who would be affected most by hand-checking rules. And then he included a link to Silver actually saying that. There's a whole other section with Ray Allen, and I'll skip to the end. The most damning stat, maybe Ray Allen is 1-0 over Curry in on-screen threesomes. What does that mean? Well, whatever. Understand that this debate will never be settled like Brady and Montana. This is just an exercise, but I wanted to give some perspective and credit to the players of that era. Some sites have projected Curry stats of the 90s era, and more than likely we would still speak of him as a great player, but durability concerns, system and style, and league rules would have brought his stats to a lower level of NBA player. There is no doubt in my mind. Wow. Money checkup. See, I don't screen these carefully because I want to respond authentically to them. Did not expect that a Stephen Curry hate email, which essentially is what that was, my money checkup. Here's my pushback and some acknowledgement to your email. You brought up the steals and the fact that he actually like I think led the league or was among the leaders in the NBA one season in steals. I think that was 2023, and this is a huge reason why defensive rating is a stat I don't respect. Curry was number 1 in the NBA in defensive rating among all guards, and that's not a slight of any kind, but and I'm not saying this as like a critique of Steph. It's just, is he the best? No, of course not. I mean, now with that said, I don't agree with the rhetoric that had Steph played in the 90s and 80s, he wouldn't be any good. I don't agree with that at all. As someone in Money Checkup, if you watched that era as well, yes, it was far more physical. But I've also never seen evidence that Steph can't handle the physicality. I also, in terms of debating differences between Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and Ray Allen, did I say Ray Allen twice? Sorry. Steph is a far superior ball handler. I do think Steph's shooting would translate to the 80s or 90s because the distance of the three-point shot's practically the same. I know there were some tweaks with the corner three, I believe, but it was a minor tweak, would not have made a difference in my opinion. So I think Steph's shot still falls at the same clip. I think his release is one of the key reasons why he's easily the best shooter ever. It's not just the percentages, the number made. It's the fact that no one can stop it, and that he only needs a smidge of space to get that ball out. And once that ball's out, it's as deadly as any shooter in the history of this game. If Stephen Curry's game itself had never progressed beyond 2014-15 after the first championship, I would agree a lot more with your sentiments. But Steph from 2014 to 2023 added so much strength to his body that he went from a guy who could not create shots on his own to a guy who can get anywhere he wants and create any kind of space he wants, as evident by the 2022 finals. He went from a guy who was basically one-dimensional for the most part offensively, meaning if the three-point shot was not there, Stephen Curry would be maybe like an average, above average player. He changed that. He evolved his game where he could literally attack the paint and generate space for himself to make easy buckets. That was a game changer. Like, to me, the best version of Steph we've ever seen was 2021 when he got robbed of his third MVP. I still maintain Nikola Jokic did not deserve that MVP award over Steph. And the voters a lot of them morons, penalized Steph because he was on a team that finished as the 8th seed that season. You look at his numbers that year, all time, historic, generational. And Stephen Curry translated his game to being a guy that could score from pretty much anywhere. When I say score from anywhere, I don't mean he can make the shot. I mean he can create the shot, the space, where on the floor he can get to, easy layups that are not blocked. And we saw that 22 title because Stephen Curry had truly reached his prime and reached his highest level of potential. So the hand checking thing, I think Steph could have adjusted. I'm with you that it existed. It was a very real part of the game, but they're still hand checking them. Like if they called fouls on hand checking today the way they should, yeah, you might have a point, but they're grabbing them, they're clawing at them, they're hand checking them. Steph is not getting a fair whistle. So ultimately, between agreeing to disagree that Reggie and Ray were on equal footing as shooters, those stats you mentioned don't include clutch performances, meaning high pressure. And when I say clutch, that there's a stat that indicates that, I'm referring to the actual meaning of the word, like someone who under the most insurmountable of pressure still follows through and succeeds. 4 rings. They're not getting any one of those without him. I know he only got 1 Finals MVP, but should have arguably been 2. Kevin Durant feasted on the space Steph provided. And 4 championships, 2 MVPs. I mean, like the accomplishments. Reggie and Ray, if they're playing in today's era, I don't think they're winning more chips. I just don't. I don't think. I don't know, but that's just me. Good email though. All right, without further ado. Hope you folks are ready. Chardol, hope you're ready. We're about to go into the danger zone.
I'm a stay-at-home son.
It's been a minute, Chardol. How are you doing?
Hi, Cy. I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you doing on this Monday afternoon?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right, man. It's been warm weather. We're gonna have a hot summer, Chardol. Would you agree?
I agree. It's gonna be a hot summer.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of. Whenever I'm at Great America, I make sure to drink lots of water.
Smart.
Stay hydrated, because it's gonna be
man.
really hot this summer. So I need to make sure I'm hydrated. Drinking a couple of liquids.
Good. How are you feeling about the San Francisco 49ers? Shifting gears for a second.
I've been a San Francisco 49ers fan all my life. Brandon Ayuk has been unhinged individual with all the antics that this man has been doing.
What has he done lately? Chardol, I'm glad you brought that up.
He posted a selfie on social media of him shirtless, wearing a Washington Commanders hat. Looks like he wants to go to the Commanders.
But what is him posting a picture shirtless have to do with him being deranged or being a lunatic?
So when he sped past Levi's Stadium, showed that
when he did that,
he was speeding 104 miles per hour past his place of employment, and he recorded a video. And
so
that's the problem I hate about him, is that he posts a video of himself on social media, which shows how much of a deranged individual he is. He's posting a video of him doing a criminal act, and he gets caught with the police, and now there's an arrest warrant that's been placed under Ayuk's name.
And just to add some context, that video was actually posted a year ago, maybe even longer. But I believe Santa Clara or whatever the law enforcement agency is that put out that arrest warrant.
That video took place back in December, but they're still bringing it up as conversation even to this day, even though it happened in December, and then they're bringing it now because it's a very serious topic, and people want to bring it up, even though people have already discussed about it already over on YouTube.
All right. And you're the Giants, they're doing bad this year, right?
And the Giants are really pathetic. The Giants are they're currently I believe 12 games under 500. So yeah, they're just not going in the right direction.
Do you like the manager, or is he the problem?
I think Tony Vitello is the problem, because he was a college coach. He was a college coach at Tennessee, and now he's coming to manage the Giants. And he can't manage this team well. Like, he's just under too much pressure.
How is Great America treating you? Are you having good days working there? Are the customers treating you well?
Yeah, Great America's treating me really well right now. I'm having a really good time over there.
How are the dance classes going?
Dance classes are going really well.
Are you dating any of your instructors yet, or is that something that you just don't think is going to happen?
Don't think that's going to happen.
Why?
So, I hope the Giants do better. They're currently 27-39, 12 games under 500. I mean, that just shows that they're inconsistent, because they win. They just swept the Cubs in a 2 out of 3. They took down the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley Field. And you can actually sit in one of the Bartman seats. They talked on 95.7 game, where Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the Sloan, Cam, and all of them sat in those seats. So you can actually sit in those seats. You can actually go to Wrigley Field and sit in those seats that those people sat in.
Have you ever caught a foul ball, Shardal?
I've never caught a foul ball, but I've seen a lot of young kids when they go to Oracle Park and they somebody hits a home run and they're so happy about it, and they get the glove and catch it.
Have you ever caught a home run
how
ball?
excited they are, like, because they caught it. Whenever you catch a home run ball at a Giants game, that's definitely something to take back with you home, because you caught a home run ball.
Have you ever caught a home run ball?
I've never caught a home run ball.
Okay. So no balls in your hands at any point during a baseball game.
I would love to catch a home run ball by Matt Chapman.
Back in the day, in my day, we used to go because Giants games, nobody would ever go to those, right? Except for kids like me. And then A's games, the bleachers were mostly empty. And we'd always go to games early, and so the players would just lob us balls, like former Orioles closer Lee Smith, legend. I hope he's still with us. I have no idea. Autographed the ball for me after he chucked it up. It was good times, man. I don't know if it's still that easy to get balls during warm-ups today like it was then. But your summer's going good, Shardal, even though it technically has not started yet.
Summer's going really well.
Good.
Brock Purdy's 2027 might be Brock Purdy's final year as the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
Good.
Hopefully they re-sign him. He's currently signed on a 5-year contract. He's signed through 2030. $265 million contract for 5 years. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy? Do you think that they're going to re-sign? Do you think they're going to re-sign him, or do you think that they're going to let him go in 2030 and probably get signed with another team? Because I wouldn't want to see that. I love Brock Purdy so much. He's the heart and soul of this organization, and when he leaves, it's going to leave a hole. It's going to leave a hole in my heart if he leaves.
I don't know about that.
No, but 2027 might be his last year, but hopefully it isn't his last year. Hopefully he's still on this team till 2030. So that shows there's a little bit of optimism here in that situation.
I prefer Mac Jones, but that's just me. All right, Shardal, and Shardal, do you want LeBron James on the Warriors?
As a diehard Golden State Warriors fan, I would really love to see LeBron James sign with this team to play alongside Steph Curry. I mean, like, that would be a cinematic moment right there, because LeBron James and Steph Curry were born in the same hospital in Akron, Ohio. They were both born in Akron. So, and they were all-stars. So those are 3 reasons why LeBron James should come to the Warriors. And I asked a lot of Laker fans if LeBron James should come to the Warriors, and they tell me, like, what kind of smoke are you cracking? What kind of smoke are you what are you smoking? What crack are you smoking? Why are you saying that LeBron is going to come to Golden State? They don't agree with me. They think I'm the biggest degenerate in the world to think that LeBron's going to come to Golden State.
So do you think he's coming, or do you not think he's
LeBron
coming?
James is going to come to Golden State, and if all those Laker fans say that he isn't coming here, for F all of those Laker fans, he is coming to Golden State to play with Steph Curry and Draymond Green.
We'll see.
He is coming. So if all those Laker fans are saying LeBron isn't going to come to Golden State, I'm putting my foot down that LeBron is coming to Golden State and playing with Steph Curry. You don't agree, and if you Laker fans don't agree with me, you can walk out the door.
And we even have a message for those ridiculous Laker fans.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And I went on.
Lakers fans. It doesn't matter when.
I went on.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
No, Los Angeles Lakers YouTube channel, and they were talking about the Lakers, and I said LeBron James will come to Golden State, and they booted me off they booted me off YouTube. They said, what are you talking about? And then they kicked me out. They kicked me out of their channel.
That's a shame.
Because I said LeBron will come to Golden State, and they kicked me out of the channel.
Those mother effers.
Because they don't agree with what I'm saying. They think I'm the biggest idiot in the world to say that LeBron James will come.
So did they want LeBron back?
No, so LeBron James was initially going to go back to Cleveland to play for his hometown in Cleveland. But then I don't think that's happening. And so he's not going back to the Lakers. What do they think
is going to happen? What do these Lakers people think is going to happen?
They think he's going to go back to Cleveland, but I think he's going to come here.
So they think it's either Cleveland or retirement?
Cleveland or retirement.
So they don't think he's going to the Lakers, period?
They don't think he's going to Lakers, period, LeBron James.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. They think
either if he doesn't go to Cleveland, LeBron James, they say that LeBron James either goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers or retires for the rest of his life.
I only have one thing to say to Lakers fans.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Which
one do you like better? Do you like Charlie better?
Fuck you.
Or do you like Cartman better?
Fuck you.
I like Charlie and Cartman. And I like both of them, but both of them have their humorous note to them. Like both of them are equally humorous, but one has one is like no, they're 50-50. Like.
Well, and we got a third one, sure. What if there's also the polite way of saying it?
Oh, hey, you.
That's a third option too.
So I like Charlie and Cartman.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
All right, Shardol, we gotta get out of here. I need to eat.
Are you gonna have Friday? Are you gonna have Friday happy hour with Armando Lawrence?
Always, every Friday. Yeah,
I'm not gonna be working on Friday. I'm not gonna be working on Friday, so I'll be able to join you for Friday happy hour with the professor Armando Lara.
Are you? Oh wait, Brandon Ayuk appears to imply the 49ers are scared to release him.
The San Francisco 49ers should release Brandon Ayuk, and I would love to see Brandon Ayuk go to the New York Jets to play with Geno Smith.
Why is he still under contract?
Brandon Ayuk should not be under contract. He just did two things that will land him in hot water, and he's still in contract with the team still.
Oh, okay. So here's what's going on. Okay. I got the full picture now. So Niners GM John Lynch said a while ago that Ayuk's played his last snap with the team, but they're hesitant to release him because they hope to find a trade partner. So they still haven't released him yet.
I don't know what
then
they are doing right now. Brandon Ayuk is still under contract with the 49ers. This man should leave.
He can't leave.
And if 49ers if 49 friend asks me, should Brandon Ayuk stay or should Brandon Ayuk go? I think Brandon Ayuk should go from this team.
I think the reason why Ayuk is upset is because the Niners aren't just letting him go. He's still under contract.
Brandon Ayuk is an asshole. Why is that asshole still on our
because the Niners won't let him go. You're right. I'm not sitting here saying he's not, but the Niners will not let him go.
No, but that's bullshit. He should get off the team. That's absolute bullshit. Why is he still under contract?
If Ayuk might show up to training camp in late July.
If Brandon Ayuk attends training camp in July, I'm not going to go to training camp in Santa Clara.
Oh, that's interesting. So there's
So if I see Brandon Ayuk in training camp in Santa Clara, I'm not going because I don't want to see that man's face.
There's two sides to the story. I thought Brandon Ayuk had been cut and he's just, being an unhinged nut job. But no, it turns out he's still getting paid by the Niners. He's still under contract by the Niners. And the Niners apparently want to trade him and not just let him go. By the way, tonight, one more time again, Spurs Knicks. Game 3 should be bedlam at Madison Square Garden. Sherdal, do you like New York fans? I love them personally.
I went to New York in the past. We went on the subway, on the MTA subway. We got off. I went to Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is one of the most beautiful venues in all of New York in the Big Apple. I have never been inside of MSG, but I really want to. Though I got to look at Madison Square Garden from the outside, but it's an absolute shame that I wasn't able to go inside and watch a game.
Well,
because I've heard a lot of New York Knicks fans say how beautiful Madison Square Garden is.
I've been to a Knicks playoff game and I loved it. The organ playing, the building itself is old. Like when you're in there, there's like all these weird little tunnels.
So when the Golden State Warriors play the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, I'll make enough money from my work so then I can take you. We can both go to MSG and watch a Knicks game together. Would you want to do that?
If you're paying, yeah, hell yeah.
No, I mean I'll make enough money so then I can buy enough tickets and then afford it, and then we can
We'll talk about it. We can
go on the subway. We can go to New York.
We'll talk about it.
Go to Madison Statue of Liberty.
If you're treating, I might be hard pressed to say no.
I'm treating you.
All right, then let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. Would you be excited to go? The reason why I want to go to a Knicks and Warriors game in the Garden is I want to see Steph Curry put up 54 points in the Garden.
If he plays, yeah, I hope.
That would be amazing if that happens, right?
It would be.
Wouldn't that be spectacular if you go there and Steph Curry repeats or even breaks it, even scores like 70 and breaks it?
Sherdal, I gotta go. I'm starving. Promote your channel and say goodbye, please.
Hey, my YouTube channel is SGA Sports channel. Please, I'm at 542 subs. No, I'm almost at 600 subs. So please subscribe to my channel and please subscribe to Golden Days if you like Golden State Warriors content. But I'll see you on Friday for Friday Happy Hour with the Professor.
We'll see you then.
Armando Laura.
Thanks everybody. We're back either tomorrow or Wednesday with Mark Haynes. Hope the game tonight is awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Are you excited that President Trump is going to be there? Do you think they're going to boo the shit out of him, Sherdal?
They're gonna boo the shit out of him. I don't want to bring I don't like talking about politics on here.
I know. That's all we're touching. I'm just curious to know. We're keeping it sports related. I'm just curious to know.
Can we not bring politics in here, please? This is not a politics and sports channel. This is a sports channel. It's a Warriors
look,
channel.
we're talking about the Knicks game. It just so happens the president is going to be at that Knicks game. Here is my prediction for how it's going to sound tonight in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I think that's how it's going to sound. I think. Thanks, everybody.
So I'll see you on Friday.
That was Trump, by the way. This is the crowd. And then every time that happens tonight, Trump's going to be mad and he'll go. Thanks, everybody. SGA Sports Talk. Follow him. It's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's Shardul Gupta.
So shout out my channel one more time before I leave the stream.
It's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, folks. Get your facts straight. It's SGA Sports Talk. It stands for Shardul Gupta.